Yo, as you read from the title, Wuthering Waves' bad launch saved the game. Today I'm gonna talk about why that is and also how the game would be if nothing wrong actually happened. Imagine if Wuthering Waves didn't have any complaints and was 100% optimized and people had that good experience with it from the start. And why I think it would probably be less successful because of this. As always, I'm not gonna waste your time, I'm gonna make this as fast as possible. So now if we take any game's popularity in general, you will see that most games go insanely popular or peak at launch and then it will lose a lot of players after that, even if it's a good game. This is normal and the interest will go lower because, you know, launch is a very big event that's happening and it should be the biggest thing for the game, and this is the same thing for Wuthering Waves. And if Wuthering Waves was very smooth and had a good launch, at least in terms of optimization, it will probably have a good amount of views for some time and then it will slowly go down. The thing is, developers won't need to panic because there's no big problems. There won't be a free 5-star, there won't be a drama, and the devs will probably not go as hard as they did for the competition. Because actually, if we look at the curve of Wuthering Waves in terms of interest, it went down on the first day and then it went up again for 2 whole days. And this was because of the amount of problems that the game had in terms of optimizations, and add to that some, you know, voice acting and story problems. So this caused so much drama in global and also in CN. It made Wuthering Waves the talk of the day. People talk about Wuthering Waves even if they don't play gacha. So the game became popular because of its problems. So now a lot of people care about this game that came to compete with Genshin Impact and actually didn't succeed. After that, Kuro Games did the best thing they can do, which is they cared and devs listened. Doing that and giving so much free things and a free 5-star from the first week made those people who didn't even care about Wuthering Waves, who only came for the drama, care about Wuthering Waves and think that this game is probably going to have a good future, and we're like, okay, I don't want to miss this free 5-star, let me log in the game now and play the game. And this is exactly what happened. But this is not the most important argument, by the way. This is something very important and very smart that Wuthering Waves did that I will talk about in a minute. But going back here, people are now going back to the game, talking more about the game, and the community was kind of divided. People talking about how this game still have optimization problems, and people saying, okay, devs are listening and it's so generous, and rewards like these can actually buy the players. It's actually confirmed now, especially when they had a very good roster of standard characters. But now there is another thing that made it even better: the amount of promises that Kuro Games made. Some of these promises didn't even come to the game yet, but these promises helped them gain more respect from the players. Even if they weren't going to do it, more players are going to believe that, and this helped them stall for another version and make players cope with the game until we got 1.1 and they fulfilled a lot of these promises, which made Wuthering Waves at that point established in the community. It's a very smart thing that they did. It's not intentional, by the way. That was a very good decision making after rushing the game. Okay, this might be right when you hear it, but it doesn't also make sense in the same time when you say, okay, a perfect game will do worse than a game with so many problems. Well, the thing is, Wuthering Waves was functional for most players actually. People who got the problems were a minority, but that wasn't a little amount of people. Well, like when you say 15% or 20%, that will cause drama, but in the same time, a lot of other people will go like, okay, I'm having fun in the game and I'm also getting free 5-stars. If the game wasn't actually functional for like 40% or 50% of people and like had a lot of other bugs and problems and didn't, for example, have a good gameplay, well, however generous you will be, the game will flop. It's just that this game had good gameplay and had good characters and content and holograms. This will never apply to every game. Like, this is hard to be applied to every game, and Wuthering Waves was kinda lucky for going that far even with these problems at the start, because I will never, by the way, praise a game that came half-baked or rushed, but at least when the devs listen, I would appreciate it. Anyway, if you don't subscribe now, you're gonna lose your 50-50. Bye bye.